Living full-time in a small trailer that you pull behind your car, it has its challenges. So far over the last couple of, 9 months, most of the challenges have been fairly small and been able to take care of myself, or Steph's been able to take care of them. But this one here, this is a doozy. Welcome everybody. I am just getting back from our storage unit because our refrigerator in our LIV trailer took a poo-poo. After 9 months of living full-time in the trailer, we were lucky when we purchased the LIV trailer. They offered us lifetime warranty on everything. So we're going to be going through the warranty process. The issue we have right now is we do live full-time in the RV, which means we can't just haul it over to Newport Richey or up in Georgia and just let them keep it for 3 weeks or 4 weeks while they repair or wait for repair parts. We need to live in it. So that's our situation, which I don't know if there's a lot of other LIV trailer people that own the trailers that live full-time. I'm assuming they go camping and go home. They have an actual house. You know, if you do live full-time in a LIV trailer, let me know in the comments below. But how this is, the customer service, I just have to say, I've been dealing with them on the phone twice today already. Amazing. And I'm learning a lot about how this lifetime warranty stuff actually works, at least through the phone calls. So let's say you're out in Arizona or New Mexico or somewhere other than Florida and Georgia. What do you do if something happens? Well, if something happens to the physical trailer itself, you call LIV, supposedly, and they find out where you're located and they start calling people around you to try and find a place to have you have your service done, which is great. It could be Camping World, Lazy Days, whatever, a private person. But when an appliance goes bad, that falls under a different warranty. Since and everything in our trailer is under warranty, what do you do? Because they don't keep that stuff in stock, which I totally understand. So our refrigerator could take a few weeks to get in. So I just went up to Wildwood to our storage unit and I got an electric ice chest out of storage. Gonna bring it over here, empty out the refrigerator. And they gave me the opportunity to just remove the refrigerator myself and bring it on over to the dealership, which I will be dropping off tomorrow. But right now, before I go to work, I'm going to go ahead and yank it out. I'm curious, a couple things about this project. Ooh, the cicadas are going crazy. One of the things I'm really curious about is how it's plugged in. Is there a 12-volt socket behind it? What are you doing? The cicadas are out. You want to go play with them? Go ahead, go. Because I'm going to be busy for a little bit. Here, go out, run off into the forest. But we noticed when I woke up, let's turn this off, don't need this on. But I noticed when I woke up, well, Steph woke me up, that the freezer was totally melted, or it's not, it's not good. So I got to empty that stuff out. And I got to empty all this stuff out. But what I'm curious about is, like, behind the skirting, we take the skirting off, find out how this is mounted in, and then slide it out. And I wonder where it's plugged in, because it has to be done back inside, where there has to be a plug in there somewhere that this plugs into. So yeah, I'm just curious how it's all set up in there. And yeah, it would be much easier to drive it over and leave it. Like I said, we live in here full time. This is our home. And yeah, it's life throws you curveballs sometimes, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and empty this stuff out and start taking this apart and I'll show you a little bit of that. And then tomorrow, yanking it out, putting it in the car, and heading over and showing what the service is like, and keep you updated on how everything's going, because a lot of you might be going through this. We looked at Reddit, and it does seem to be an issue after a period of time. This brand of refrigerator just happens to break for no reason. So you could probably put something else in its place, but because it's warranty, we're just sticking with the warranty stuff. Okay, it doesn't get much cleaner than that. So this is where we're gonna put the food that's in the refrigerator, let that cool down a little bit. In the meantime, I'm thinking, I see a little crack in here. There's a little, I don't know if you guys see, there's a, you can see in between the refrigerator and the wall. And right here is where the plug is. So there's probably, I'm assuming there's probably a plug inside here too. Where'd it go? I just seen it. Oh, there. There's probably a plug down in there. So I'm assuming that's where it's plugged in. So this should be a fairly easy project, even for somebody like myself. The nice thing about living in a trailer like the LIV is, like when I had my 33-foot RV, my Holiday Rambler, my regular RV Cousin Eddie, you needed a lot of tools. You needed stuff for your engine, your the belts, you need so many tools, tire stuff, everything. Well, when you pull something like this with your car, it's like, it's just a trailer. It's just basic tools is all you need. Sometimes the basic tools you don't actually have, but luckily, fortunately, I have the equipment to do this job. I just need this and hopefully a little bit that'll fit in there and unscrew these screws. Hopefully they're just normal screws. They look like they might be Phillips head, but they may not be. So we're just gonna have to see. There's so many different, I don't know why there's not universal, like just Phillips or standard. Why there's so many different, hex things and everything else. Why there has to be so many different head types. Why can't there just be a standard 2 type of screws? Why do we have the metric system, and why do we have the standard thing that we have? Don't know. And I have an extremely bad habit of just piling stuff in, never organizing. Get my shoes on. It is a standard Phillips head really doesn't fit in there neither. It's kind of weird. I'll strip it if I attempt it. So I'm going to get one, instead of using my electric, to at least loosen them up so I don't strip them. I'm going to go ahead and get just a hand-held Phillips and kind of break them all loose first. Which is probably a good thing I did this, just due to the fact, let's see here, I don't want to lose any of these. But just due to the fact, the ones up here, all the way over and down, are going to be fairly easy with the electric screwdriver. But this side over here, it's next to a wall, so it might be a little bit more difficult. So it's probably better just to use one of these anyway. Definitely if you don't want to strip them, which I have a bad habit of doing. Okay, they all came out easy, but I noticed something. So the screws came out easy, except for one of these stud things, the things that I've been putting in the door to stick in this specific material. This one came out. I'm gonna have to replace that. It came out right there. But everything else has them. This has them. So my curiosity has just been piqued. Because of the material used, right? You have to have these in the walls. I'm assuming they're here for the microwave. Maybe they're not, because they're not for the door. The door handles, the hinges right here, the hinges in the door, they need those same things, because the door fell off like in a week. It just fell off, just come right out because of the honeycomb. There's nothing to drill into. And so they didn't do it there, but for some reason they did it for the skirting around the refrigerator, and the skirting doesn't do anything. It's just for looks, but they put them there. Why did they use them on something that didn't need it, but didn't put them where you actually do need them? It's very odd. Here's about what I was worried about though. So it does have a bracket here. But look at this. What kind of That's what I'm talking about. Why can't everything just be Phillips heads? What are these things? What are those brackets that are holding this into place? Well, I do have time. I'm going to go ahead and go to work. I obviously do not have a tool or some sort of screwdriver, don't know, or head, don't know what that is, but I have to get those out, and I actually don't have those, whatever it's called. So I'm going to go ahead and end the project for the moment. Go ahead and go to work and pull an all-nighter in the morning when Lowe's and Home Depot open up. I took pictures of it so I can find out what I need, because I don't know what that is. I mean, I could probably ask ChatGPT or OpenAI exactly what that is, and go ahead and get that in the morning, come home, finish disconnecting all this, have Stephanie help me put it in the back of the car, and run it 100 miles over to Newport Richey so I could drop this unit off. And in the meantime, we're just gonna ice chest it with, well, it's plugged into the Jackery, so you don't need ice. Ice would probably help, but all the contents of the refrigerator, except for the eggs, which I think I'm just gonna have to toss because we live in a different country. Europe, they'd keep them. Here, we got to toss them because they're supposed to stay refrigerated in the United States. But get rid of those. Everything else is in there. And yeah, this is going to be a 2-day job, and it's probably going to take about 3 weeks to replace this. But that's okay, as long, got to do it. I mean, there's nothing stopping us of working an extra week or two, being able to afford a refrigerator that would fit in this place. It's probably better, like Frigidaire or one of the other companies. But this Everchill company is what came in the RV, and since it is under warranty, it's just something you got to do. Got to keep that warranty going. But when this is out, I'm also thinking about just taking out the microwave, cleaning behind it, because we use it quite often, and getting rid of any spiders or bugs that might be behind there. You don't move things for a while, things start to live behind things. Since this is out, might as well remove this also and clean behind there. It's kind of like spring cleaning in the middle of summer. Okay, I just fed the image of that into ChatGPT. It says it's a resistance screw. Whoever installed it, just stripped them out, just put them in way too tight and stripped them out, figuring that once it's out of their hair, I think it said, and the customer receives it, it's out of their hands. So that's good to know, because every single one looks like that. Everyone is stripped out. And it's like whoever installed the refrigerator just stripped them, making it difficult for the person that owns the RV to get it out, knowing that they're going to have to bring it back to have it repaired. But it's so hard when you live full time to take it back. So, I mean, it's obviously a technique for customers, or, to make customers come back. But because we have the lifetime warranty, it wouldn't really make any sense, because it doesn't cost us anything. So the company's not getting any money to replace this. So why not just do it right and not strip it? But I'm not saying that. ChatGPT is. AI. Gotta love it. As I was putting this video together, I figured, you know what? I better do this in 2 parts, because the first part's already 13 minutes. So I got the thing off the refrigerator. Tomorrow, I can't get the tool until tomorrow, whatever tool I'm going to need to be able to get those stripped screws out. So I'm going to go ahead and continue working all night, go to Lowe's or Home Depot in the morning when they open, because I'll still be awake, and I'll purchase whatever tool I need, whatever they suggest for me to take those out, and then I will continue on with the video. So this part here is just kind of explaining what's going on. Part 2 will be me taking the refrigerator, putting it in the trunk of the car, and running it to LIV trailers in Newport Richey, and seeing what that whole process is like, what it's like to deal with your lifetime warranty on all this stuff. So it should be interesting, and it may help somebody else out there that doesn't know what to do when something like this happens, especially if you're out of state and don't have access to the LIV trailer core group of service centers. So I'll answer all those questions tomorrow, or I will have those answers for you from the service department tomorrow, just in case you decide to do some really far traveling, way far away from Georgia and Florida. So until the next time, thanks for tuning in. Check in the next video for the update and what happens next, and I'll see you guys from down the road. Peace, everybody.